Well, hello, friend. Thank you for popping by, spending some time, valuable time, of course, with moi. I wish you were here. I'd like to bounce some things off of you, see what your reaction is, hear what you have to say about it. But since we're confining ourselves to the internet communication zone for the time being, not only because of COVID-19, but because it's been a really trendy thing to do for the last decade. Even more if you want to go back to the old email days, AOL and whatnot. Remember when you could download some skin shots and it would only take you a few hours? I heard those days existed, but that's because I'm old. Anyway, I was thinking when I watch some of the things I consume on YouTube and find quite fascinating, when I try to write something or put up a blog post at globehackers.com. You know, it's so pretentious. Who am I? Why am I saying anything? Nobody gives a damn anyway, right? And it's not going to change a damn thing if little Stevie Cleghorn weighs in on something. Nobody cares. But for me, I'm working things out in my own mind, trying to understand things, so sometimes it helps just to throw my opinion out there. And I love being opinionated with friends because it's fun. You can deploy some irony and sarcasm and jokes, and you can smile and pat each other on the shoulder and punch each other in the stomach and giggle and snort and feign anger and have a heated debate. And it's all good because you trust each other. You're friendly, or friends. And mind you, if you're not the best of friends, it doesn't really matter. Because as long as you act friendly in a sincere, earnest manner, it's almost just as good as being real friends. You can feign politeness. You can act well. And people will appreciate it. Even though deep down inside, you just hate everything. And everybody in the whole wide world annoys the hell out of you. Or maybe into you. I was thinking, when I'm listening to these intelligent people articulating on the internet, on the YouTube, that it's better to have a superficial understanding of what things are than to necessarily think you have to be an expert. You don't have to be the spokesperson for externalities or the one person who understands inequality better than everybody who pontificates about it. You don't have to know chemistry and climate science to figure out climate change and global warming. You don't have to be a historian to understand that finding cheap energy in the form of fossil fuels led to an explosion of technology and economic growth, the likes of which have never been seen in the 200,000 or 300,000 years of human history. You don't have to understand a lot of things, you know. I put them up there. People get pissed off because there's something there that is unfamiliar, and that's like a slap in the face, especially from a long distance. Why? Why are you bothering me with this haughty information that's unfamiliar? And people do tend to close down when you do that. But I'd like to encourage people not to be afraid. It's unfamiliar information, maybe the vocabulary, the terminology, maybe the domains of interest that a speaker is referring to are a bit unfamiliar to you, but it's okay. Just get your feet wet. Dip your mind into the bath of the great expanse of knowledge and understanding that people in this world have. That sound is the fan of a light whirring in the background. I got to get a fanless light. I'd rather not shoot in this room, to be honest. I will put my mind towards aesthetics and so on and so forth, because it is fun, and make the setting more interesting in the future. But for now, anyway, sorry. So the point is, whatever it is, whether you're talking about economics or RNA viruses or racism or structural racism or anarcho-feminism, whether you're trying to explain to somebody that Derrida is okay to read, it's not going to kill you, that Karl Marx isn't going to invade your dreams like an incubus, sit on your chest in the middle of the morning when you have to pee and act crazy talking about dialectics and talking about workers owning the means of production and whatnot. Yeah, it's okay. It's just a part of 19th century history. It's just a thinker. And we don't have to pretend like we know it all. We don't have to go on shows and pretend like we know. You know when somebody knows what they're talking about. So just dip your mind into it. Let the words flow right through you. And maybe you do some searches on the interwebs and some search engines, not just Google. That'll point you in only one direction, the one that knows you too well. And you'll find out about stuff. And knowing a little bit more, even in a superficial sense, will help you be a better decision maker, which is a good thing. Because we all have to be clear-headed now. Because some of the challenges we face right now are critical and will determine whether or not your children have a future. I really thought it was interesting when Daniel Schmachtenberger was saying, if all we care about is just the dopamine and the brain chemistry getting stimulated, maybe it's better to plug right into the matrix, put on those VR goggles and just, have that. But that's not where it's at, people. Get out there with your friends and have a conversation about unfamiliar things, and you will learn something, and you will understand that things that you weren't exposed to growing up are fascinating and marvelous and exciting. Curiosity is so important, and people who are stubbornly incurious are really cheating themselves. So if you can, help a stubbornly incurious person crack a book or watch something on YouTube that they're unfamiliar with. And if they don't understand things, it's not a big deal. You didn't know how to fix that carburetor until somebody taught you how to fix it and gave you the confidence to think that you could. And now you can't fix the iPhone They won't let you. But even if you could you? Well, you could. There are places you could go to learn how to do that. The other thing that was fun in the Schmachtenberger piece that I posted on Globe Hackers Facebook page, he was talking about the difference between complexity and complicated. Complicated systems have blueprints that we make, and they're causal. Complexity theory, complexity is different. Emergent properties, it changes, it self-corrects, it does all these mysterious things. And that's bloody interesting, even though it's too complicated for me to understand. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Thanks a lot and take care. Bouliam tea. Out.